Hello, good morning, welcome back to the Fishlocker out on the boat. Let's go and do some pots. Whoa. Whoa, I tell you what, they feel heavier than they used to. I think I'm out of practice. Whoa. Come on, up you come. There we go. Catching on the seabed. One, two, three. Oh. That's better. That's better. Come on, last one. One, two. Oh, that's better. That's a lot better, that one. Whew. Considering that these pots haven't been soaking for very long, and we've got small tides at the minute, them last two fish really well. You can tell I've had all winter off. Before anybody says anything, I don't want or need a pot hauler. You might think you're coming up with a real good idea, but you haven't considered everything that I know. It might temporarily make my job a little bit easier, but it would add a lot of other headaches. Right, let's get all these ropes from beneath my feet and let's have a look what's in these pots. This one, these are pollock frames. These are frames from one of the pollock that I caught in a recent session. Spiny starfish. We do all this with the different types of baits. You use fresh bait to catch crabs, and you use stinking rotten bait to catch lobsters. And yeah, these ones with the fresh pollock in, well, I say fresh, it stinks now. It's caught loads of crabs. We do have a lot of velvet swimming crabs in this pot. We have yeah, you don't want to be able to smell what I can smell. Five velvet swimming crabs. Now, these are edible. And these are all above minimum landing size. The reason they're called a velvet swimming crab is because they've got a velvety texture to their shells, and these two back legs here, you can see them flapping around, these are swimming legs. When we were kids we used to call these devil crabs because they've got bright red eyes. But yeah, the reason why I'm not taking these is because they're very small. Even though they are legal to take, you'd need 20 of them to make a crab sandwich. Like if I was starving on a desert island and all there was velvet swimming crabs, I'd eat them. But right now, oh look, that's a pregnant female. See all the eggs that she's got underneath? This is a top entry pot. See, it's got an opening up the top. Again, a pollock frame. Quite a lot of crabs in this one. Female velvet swimming crab. Male. Another male. They are quite good looking, aren't they? And they are they are wick. They're aggressive as hell. What they'll do is they sometimes play possum. They'll lay there in the pot on their back, like pretending that they're dead, and as soon as you put your hand in, they come alive. Another female. Yeah, plenty of little crabs. That tells me about this ground. If there's loads of them about, there's not going to be as many lobsters or big crabs. I'll have a look, because we might have a sizable brown crab in there. First thing I'll look at is this lobster, because I think, yes, this lobster, looking at her, this lobster here is a pregnant female. This is what you'd call a buried hen. A hen lobster. Females are called hens and males are called cocks, just like chickens. And this one is carrying lots of eggs underneath her tail. Now your eggs come in 3 stages. They start off like dark green, then go black, then red and black, and then they hatch. These are red and black. These are just about to hatch. So I'm going to be careful with her. I'm going to stick her in a bucket of water and we'll have a look at her in a bit. Alright? You aren't allowed to land a pregnant lobster. You go down there, love. Right, what else have we got in here? Tape measure, that's what we need. Right, these are brown edible crabs. And they have 2 different minimum landing sizes. The females have to be 150 and the males have to be 160 across the back. I'll show you. Measuring them. Right. She was actually hiding another little velvet. I think she's going to be probably just undersized. Oh, actually, she is bang on, I think. Maybe even a couple of millimetres over. So yeah, she is just about legal to take. I'll put her down. Oh. And we have another hen and a cock. The trick about getting them out of the pot is that to be fast, and you need to hold on to their claws when you're doing it. If you just try and pull them from their body, their legs and claws come off. So you have to, when you're pulling them out, you have to kind of get hold of them by their claws like that and pull them by the claws, because they are, I mean, it's strong now. I mean, it's putting up a good scrap. If it got hold of my fingers, I would sharp know about it. And this one's actually 165. So this one's large enough as well. So we have a male and a female brown edible crab that are both large enough to take. Whoa. In my local area, in Cornwall, there are bylaws pertaining to people who are unregistered, unlicensed like me. I'm not a commercial fisherman, I just do this for my pleasure. I'm allowed to take 2 lobsters or 3 crabs a day, or 1 lobster and 4 crabs or 5 crabs. No more than 5 as a total, and no more than 2 lobsters. So I could potentially, there is a big crab in that pot there, I'll have a look. If I can get this one out pretty quick. Yep. That is a big hen. She's lost. She's a bit of a Jeremy. She's got one claw bigger than the other, I don't know if you can see. She's lost this claw at some point and she's growing it back. She's well over. She's 180. Yeah. So we have a big hen crab, a decent sized cock crab and a little hen. Good hard shells as well. You can see by these barnacles and keelworms that she's been in that shell a while, so it means that she's going to be full of meat. If we find any of them in here where they've just shed their shells, I'll explain what they look like. But yeah, this is a good hen crab to take. Right, there is a lot going on in this one, isn't there? First out is a little prawn, a little cheeky lobster. This one is well undersized. This is how they swim through the water, by flapping that tail. They flap that tail like that and swim backwards. This one is a little male, well undersized, but nice to see all the same. That great beast there is a big male spider crab. I will get you shot down. Talk about you in a second when I've dealt with what's going on in this pot. All stuck amongst all this pollock frame is another lobster and a little spider crab. This is a little male. Little male brown edible crab, 200, too small, far too small. He will probably be about 11, 12. But you saved the best till last. That is a beauty. Oh yeah, and female, no V-notches. Well above minimum landing size. That is a keeper lobster. Perfect. One, two, three. Right, now that I've got a bit of space to work with, talk to you about these spider crabs. This is a good sized male. This is a big one. This, you can see these are males because of this narrow strip here. Also the males have big claws, like this guy here. This guy's probably got a spreader like 2 foot. He's a good one. This guy, although this guy's probably legal size, he's too small. This guy measures 170. So he is big enough to take. I am going to take this one. I'm allowed, like I said, I'm allowed 2 lobsters and 3 crabs, or 1 lobster and 4 crabs. And what we have here is, I'll show you quick comparison with the crabs. Again, male crab. Male crab, so narrow flap underneath, narrow apron. Male crab, narrow apron. Right, let's see if I can just show you. Don't know where you think you're going, lad. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter what species they are, the males have always got the narrow bit underneath. The females, show you. I've got quite a large, wide apron underneath. So narrow one for the males, wide one for the females. Also, difference between males and females is a female's back has got a really pronounced hump in it, whereas a male's back is pretty flat. See, humped female, flat male. Also, the males will have larger claws. You got me. Whew. Just to show you, minimum landing size for lobsters in my area is 90mm, and that's 90mm on the carapace, which is the back of the eye socket to the back of the hard part there. And this one here is 98. So a very good size. What you need to check for when you're checking for lobsters is there are other bylaws as well. One of them being that you can't land a pregnant lobster, which is the one that we've got down there with the eggs on that I'm going to deal with in a second. The other one being it can't be underneath minimum landing size, which is 90mm. And the final bylaw is there is something called a V-notching scheme, where the tail fans there and there in a pregnant lobster are marked with a V, cut a V out. So even though this one hasn't got eggs, at some point in time before it might have had eggs and someone might have caught it and might have V-notched it. So you need to check them for V-notches, even if they haven't got eggs. You can also V-notch a male, so don't think it's just females, it's anything. This lady here, she's probably just bang on legal actually. She is 94. She's 94mm. So she's above minimum landing size. She doesn't have any V-notches, but she does have eggs. She does have a lot of eggs just about ready to hatch. So what I am going to do is I am going to V-notch this one. Because she's proven to be a breeder, because I've seen, because she's got eggs. I know that she's going to be useful to the breeding stock. So I'm going to clip her tail and mark her with 2 V-notches, so that next year and the year after that, and possibly even the year after that, she'll be able to be breeding without being caught and landed. That makes sure that there is a healthy breeding stock on the ground at all times. And all you need to do, when I can find them, is a set of V-notching clippers. There, and to V-notch her, all I'm going to do is really quickly, oh look, actually there's an old clip from one that I V-notched a while ago. There's just one in there, real quick, and then it's alright love, 2 seconds, one in there. Alright, I'm not going to hurt you. There you go, see, there's one, and there's the other. There we go, we'll just drop her back over the side. I'm going to drop her back really gently, just because I don't want to detach any of these eggs. They are stuck on, they are stuck hard on with like an enzyme. And then when she's ready to release them, she releases another enzyme and they all come off. These can produce up to 20,000 eggs at a time. And unfortunately, they don't have the best success rate. When they're released, they're almost microscopic. They are just a tasty little snack for pretty much everything else in the ocean. So the success rate from these 10,000, 20,000 eggs is sometimes 1 or 2% to reach to this age to be breeding again. So they need all the help they can get. There's your eggs. There's your V-notches. There you go, girl. See you later. Lazy girl. Right, well that's her drop back. I'm going to tidy up now, get some fresh bait in these pots, get these ropes sorted and we'll get them shot back. But yeah, as it looks right now, we have done really well. It's mixed emotions today because I put 2 fleets of pots out, come out here and one of them's been stolen. So the first session of the pots of the year, put 2 strings out and one of them's been lifted, one of them's been taken. So the pots have been out for 5 days and I've already had 3 of them stolen. Yeah. Got a good catch of crabs. Yeah, it's not often you'll see someone saying that they're pleased about catching crabs. Got some big crabs and a beauty of a lobster. You can't you can't stick everything in the same barrel. You can't stick it all in the same bucket because they fight, and these will kill that lobster. They'll just crunch it. This one not so much because he's missing one of his claws, like the tips of one of his claws. But these brown edible crabs, if they go under something, they just crush it. And there we go, clean down time now. We'll get everything cleaned down because this stinks. Got all this catch taken home. I hope you enjoyed joining me. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later. This is what happens when you put it all in the same barrel. Oh, yeah. I could see something hanging about on the seabed on the sounder. Little pollock. Oh wow, that assist hook has really nailed it. Open wide. There we go. Let's go and see about checking these pots. Tell you what, clary's quite fine. Oh no, that is a good one. There is a stunner in that pot. I do love that sound. That is an absolute beauty in there. Come on, last one. As James would say, big effort. Oh. That's an odd one. That is a very odd one. This is making me inclined to believe that there's something's been in that pot. We have catch in this pot. We have catch in this pot. And then for this one, there is absolutely nothing. Not even like a velvet swimming crab. And also this is in the wrong place. So I'm inclined to believe that a diver's been in there for that one. If it had been another fisherman, he would have hauled these two pots first and got to the one at the end. So that absolutely nothing in it, not even a velvet swimming crab, not an elderbill crab, not an undersized, nothing at all. And these two pots have fished okay, and they were within, well, 50 yards, so, no sorry, 50 feet. So this was 50 feet away and this was 100 feet away. What can you do about it? First pot to check, big one. Go on, don't do it. You're going to end up losing that claw if you don't let go. There you go. A little tiny prawny lobster. Right, these, you're more likely to get nipped by one of these than one of the big ones, because they've just got a tighter turning circle and faster claws. As it is, this little girl has lost one of her claws at some point. But don't worry, because the next time she sheds, she'll start growing it back. This one here is probably total length about 20 centimetres. In fact, I'll measure it. There's no point me saying about, because I'm going to have to measure the other ones. This one's carapace length is probably like 40 odd. 59. Coincidentally, this one here is probably about 3 or 4 years old. This is a nice big hen crab. This is a female brown edible crab. Tell it's a female because of this large apron underneath here. Males just have a narrow one. You can also tell because her back has got quite pronounced humpiness. But yeah, she's a good one. She's well over. She is, let me get my measure on her. $190. So yeah, a good one. These are all, looks like a dragon skull, doesn't it? This is pollock skulls. We had a really good session on the pollock on the wrecks, and after I'd finished filleting them all off, used the carcasses in the pots to try and turn them into a crab or a lobster. As it was, this has turned them into a crab. So nothing goes to waste. We took the fillets off the fish. In fact, the guts went inside my prawn pot, because the liver, prawns love eating like stinky livers. The fillets went home to be eaten, and the skeletons, the skulls and everything like that, all the carcasses got picked clean in the pots, and then all the bones go back to the sea. There's another one. I'll show you how to bait this one as well, actually, when I come to baiting them. You see, this is what's making me believe that someone's been in that other pot, because this one is absolutely rammed. It's like opening a present at Christmas. The first one out is probably a sized lobster. This one is a female. Yeah. A lovely blue on it, isn't it? This one is, yeah, 93 mil. So first lobster out is a keeper. This one is going to be just undersized, I reckon. This is a male. Yeah, I'll put this one down at being like 87, 86 or 87. Tell you what, it is almost like I know what I'm doing every now and again. Yeah, bang on 87 mil. You're putting 90 millimeters from the back of the eye to the back of the carapace, this part here. A little velvet swimming crab. Another little one, well under, this one will be in the 60s. 72. So look at these two here are probably only maybe a year difference. This one and this one. And that hoofing great lobster in there. What an absolute jumbo. There's no need to even measure this. Right, let me try and give myself a little bit of space to play with. This guy here is an absolute beast. Yeah. Tell straight away that this one was going to be a male just by the size of them monster claws. Yes. This one here and this one here, their growth rate isn't the same all the way through. So they don't gain like 10% every year. When they're smaller, they increase in size by a greater proportion. So the size change between 60mm, when he sheds his shell there, he'll probably go to 67mm. But his size change when he's this size, I mean, he'll be in the 120s. 124mm. So his size change when he increases, when he sheds his shell. Also, they don't shed their shells every year. These little ones might shed twice a year. These big ones might shed once every 10 years. He'll only increase by a smaller amount. So going from 124, he might only go to 128. So yeah, as they get bigger, they get slower in their growth rate. So if you get a monster one, it could be 60, 80, could be 100 years old. This one is just an absolute monster. Yeah. I'll show you the sex difference. I was going to keep this one to show you that one, but I'll put this one down. I'm buzzing about that. Yeah, this one here, this undersized male. The blue on him is beautiful, isn't it? What was he again? Yeah. In a year, the next time he sheds his shell, he'll be big enough to take. What have we got as well? Oh yeah, I can show you that with the other ones. See you later, Paul. Oh. What I'm going to do, I'll put those lobsters into a bucket each so they don't fight. I'll rebait these pots and then I'll talk to you about them. You bait these pots, these ones, slightly differently. The ones with the soft eyes, you put bait inside a bag. This one, you bait inside of that. So I'm going to use the frames from the couple of bass that we had the other day to bait this pot. And all you do is you stick the bait up inside of these bands. Now look, so the bait goes on the outside of this entrance. So a crab or a lobster comes up here and can smell it, can't get at it because of the net, climbs up on top, falls inside of there, and then can't climb out. And then this is called a parlour pot because it has a parlour on the back. So it falls in there, tries to climb out, thinks this is a way to get out, and ends up stuck in the parlour at the back end. So this is a top entry parlour pot. These pots, I've got a bait bag in them. This bait in here, you can see, look, there's naught left but bones. So you take all the old bait out, be careful that you don't spike yourself, because these bones are like little pins. And then fill it full of new bait. The beauty of using bait bags is you can use softer bait. You can use bait that generally, if you're going to put it into one of the other pots, would be too soft, it would just fall through. Yeah, this barrel doesn't smell all too nice. Especially when I've had the lid on it and it's been sat in the sun for a couple of weeks. Bait this other one as well. This other pot, like I say, is completely empty. Just clean as a whistle. That'll do. Let's get these ropes sorted and get these pots shot back. Right, the catch that we have today, we have an absolutely stunning hen crab. Oh, this guy takes the prize, doesn't he? He's just a flipping monster. I mean, the size of his claws are the same size as this crab. Yeah. In my area, you're allowed to take 5 in total, so 2 lobsters and 3 crabs, or 1 lobster and 4 crabs, or 5 crabs, but no more than 5. I have my sizable hen crab. Now, we prefer to eat the males just because the males have got more claw meat. The females have got more body meat, which is the brown meat. There's 2 types of meat you get from a crab, a white meat and a brown meat, like a chicken almost. Yeah, the white meat comes from the claws and inside the body, and the brown meat comes from inside of the... I'll explain that a little bit better. All the legs and the knuckles and everything inside of here contains white meat. The brown meat is inside the shell at the back. Females have more brown meat. Lobster. Lobsters. We have a female and a male. You'll also notice, now this isn't a female male thing. This guy, start before you have my fingers. I don't know if you can hear her in there. You have 2 types of claws on a lobster. They have a cruncher, where they get older stuff and they kill it. And then they have a cutter, like a pair of scissors. You see how this one's serrated and sharp, and this one's like his arm wrestling hand. This guy's definitely right-handed. So he has a cruncher and a cutter. This guy has the crusher on the right-hand side, and the lady has the crusher on the left-hand side. Now, there is a way that you can tell the difference between males and females by what's underneath. There is a size difference between these two, so you can't see too well. But males, generally, they have a narrower tail. So the tail here will be narrower. A female's tail, if it was a female of this size, the tail would be like that wide. Their tails flare out so they can hold the eggs underneath. Also, the males, they have 2 white dots there and there. The females don't. You can tell with these legs here, but it'd be easy to show you if I could hold them side by side. That's how lobsters swim. They swim backwards by clapping that tail. Yeah. These fans here are different on a female. And amazing also to see the colour variation between these two. Bearing in mind that they've come from exactly the same place, same ground, almost, well, call it the same pot. And this one's got a lot of orange in him. He has got loads of orange. Careful. And this one is all blue. Okay. Stunning blue. You have definitely got an invite to dinner. Right, get my elastic bands out. With lobsters you can band their claws. I just use plaggy bands. And it stops them from not only nipping you, but nipping each other. I don't know if I'll be able to get bands on that bigger claw. Crabs, you can't band crabs' claws just by the shape of them. What you can do though is you can knock them. You can take a knife and you knock the claws. I'm not going to bother doing that because I've only got one crab, and I'll just keep them separate, because if I put the crab, there, look, see, if I put the crabs and lobsters in the same bucket, they would just end up fighting, and probably the crab would end up winning. Sometimes easier with these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. If you hold them between your legs, this one here, I'm just going to have to, I think I'm just going to have to use 2 bands. Yeah, he's just using that like a boxer's, you know, like them grip strengtheners. There we go. I'll stick another one on just for look. Don't really fancy getting all the way. They're a lot stronger that way than they are that way. Like a crocodile with his jaws. Safe as houses. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this stunning day. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.